Welcome to the Inside LBI podcast, where we go over all things LBI from the inside of Beach House Realty. I'm Caitlin Grieve, along with Kevin Bergen, and today we have Sam Dipietro, the owner of Sink or Swim. Hey, Sam.
Hi.
Hi. Nice to have you.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, definitely. You were probably our most recommended guest to have on this podcast, so it's nice to finally get you here.
Thank you. That's very nice.
Yeah.
We always talk about the 20 minutes or so we spend in what we call the green room, the front room, talking to people about where they go to high school and that kind of stuff, and getting a feel for each other so we're comfortable when we come on. But you were comfortable before you came on. You are a legend. Your family's a legend in terms of the food business. Sink or Swim is, I don't want to tell you how long I went to Sink or Swim.
A long time.
Before it sunk and swam, basically.
I told
Dad joke.
Hysterical. No, bad joke.
I told my employees I was a little bit nervous in doing this, and they're like, all you do is talk. Literally, talking is all you do. You are the talker. And I'm like, okay.
I got
I guess I could do this. Yeah.
I'll put headphones on.
So tell us about, how did you get into the Sink or Swim apparel business? Who do you carry?
Yeah.
It used to be Men's Line when I was younger. I'm not younger anymore, but I think I'm wearing one of your brands right now on my head.
I think you are. There you go. Peter Millar. Yeah. Shout out.
There you go.
He
Shout
knows
out
what's good.
To the Pete, yeah.
So basically I had graduated college. My parents, as we mentioned, they owned Stefano's California Grill, Blue Water Cafe. They were purchasing the building from the original owner, John Coyle. And they were like, we think you should do this. And I was like, absolutely not. I'm not a retail girly. Like, we're restaurants. I like serving tables. I am, kind of went back and said, all right, let's try it. Let's see. And I will say, my parents were very, if it doesn't work out, you can move on. So I was like, all right, I will take out the loans. I will be in charge. And all I wanted was to take this iconic store and make it something that's meant to be here, that fits in with locals and tourists and homeowners, and not just your grandpa shops there, like everyone in the whole family. And then
another shot at the old
Why Kevin stopped shopping there.
Hysterical.
So yeah, that was my goal the first year. I wanted to bring in Jetty, our local surf brand. I wanted to be included with everything they do in the community. They're my friends. I respected the business they were building. And I felt like the Sink or Swim customer that was already built in would appreciate that local connection and should get to know it a little bit more.
And they wouldn't have to go off the island to get a shirt.
Exactly. Yes.
Or go to Clam Jam or whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
Whatever they do.
Yeah, and just to be, included in something that's grassroots here and prove that, we can kind of all combine together.
So what other brands do you carry? And is there a big price difference between Jetty and some of your higher end lines?
There definitely is. Okay. And there's some other ones, Jetty is probably starting-ish at a lower price point, which is great and very accessible. And we do the kids line as well. And then probably the hat that you're wearing, Peter Millar, super nice high-end golf wear, which translates into beachwear. A lot of people know Peter Millar from their country clubs at home. So it's an easy to buy for Father's Day. It's easy to buy a gift because we know the sizing. We know that he likes it. Like someone said the other day, like, just buy a Peter Millar polo. That's the easiest, happiest gift you could give.
So I saw Peter Millar at the Honda Classic in Palm Beach Gardens.
Oh, nice.
And they were there with their trailer and was going to see Jerry Hansen. I don't remember what the year was. And I was like, wow, I never heard of that brand. Then I started seeing the crown on the back of the yoke of some of the players. And so that's how I kind of got interested in it. And it really is a great brand. From flip-flops to sweaters to golf shirts.
And it's kind of filling in that space where it's not just one age group. Everybody wants to wear it, whether you're at the beach or golfing. So then I found a small fishing brand in Florida called Avid, and their logo was just a little hook, which I thought was really clean and nice. And that's kind of also, I feel like I was taking a female's perspective on men's clothing. Like, we don't always need a shark eating a fish in a martini glass.
Right.
logo. Like we can dial it in a little bit.
In a beach chair. See, some logos kind of overdo it, don't they?
Totally.
Yeah.
It's so many ideas in one. So we brought in like Avid. So I had a little fishing. Then we brought in Faherty, which at the time was a brand new brand. Got like Brothers out of Spring Lake, New Jersey.
Do they have a logo?
Excited. Yeah, it's like a little sunset. Yeah. I was excited to bring them in. They were pretty new. And I tried to have brands that had like stories or some kind of connection. Then I kind of sprinkle in some lesser known like Australian surf brands. We do a lot of Southern Tide, which is a little preppier and Southern out of Charleston. So there's a mix. There's a lot of different brands. And that's just at the men's store. And then the women's store we opened 3 years ago. And that's even more. I don't even know where to begin over there.
Different brands? They have different brands?
We did cross over a lot of brands, but there is even more brands at the women's store. Because I've kind of learned that men, once they like a brand, they want everything from that.
Yeah.
So we need to have a big selection.
Pretty much. Yeah.
And that's kind of where women, I can put in like 3 dresses, 3 shirts, 2 pants, and they're liking that brand, but they want to mix it with others.
How long was Sink or Swim in operation before you?
I should know the exact math, but I will know that it was originally in Harvey Cedars.
I made that mistake when Gretchen was on because I said something about being in the original location and she was
adamant to tell you, yeah.
She told me no, and I was like, I'm not. I think the podcast died when she said that.
Yeah.
My face was like, messed that up. So,
so the 62. This is how I always remember the 62 storm.
right.
Had them relocate to the current location. And I mean, at the peak, they owned all 4 blocks. There was a kids store, there was multiple women's stores, but also before the kids store, it was like a boat shop where people would get their boats fixed.
Oh, wow.
Did we get their boats
Which is where
fixed?
Blue Water is now.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Wow.
Yeah.
Did they own that or were they fixing boats?
Yeah. I don't know exactly. I should ask them. Yeah. I've heard so many stories from John Quill. I mean, they're endless. It's amazing. I love that like he was an original buyer of Tommy Bahama out of a van in Florida. Like that to me just shows like, what? How did you know? So we were really lucky to have a great relationship with him. And kind of, you know, my dad was always super fond of John and how he ran a business and he helped everyone and was always super involved. He was very involved with his sailing community and the yacht club. So I'm trying to carry that on, but in a little wider range of the island.
Are you Haven Beach Yacht Club people?
Haven Beach Club.
Haven Beach Club. Sorry.
Yes.
Did you know Colleen Conway?
Yeah, I know her. Yeah,
she works here.
She's
She
one
works
of your,
here.
oh, okay,
Yeah,
cool. Yeah.
She works in our Tucson, Arizona office right now.
Oh, yeah. She moved.
Oh,
Commuting back and
Whoa.
forth. Yeah.
yeah.
Because her kids are swimmers. And her one daughter was coached by Michael Spark Sr.
Oh, yeah. So
And
was I,
She was
yeah.
kind of like a little bit, great swimmer, but kind of starting to lead towards the sailing.
Oh, awesome. The Haven Beach Club, it's magic to me.
magic,
Like
yeah.
I grew up, I was a 6-year-old. I started there. Then I became an instructor, standing waist deep in the bay, pushing 6-year-olds in little tiny boats.
My great nieces were here last week for the big race.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
I don't know how old they are, but shout out to the Wetzels
Yeah.
of Clifton. They had Manalokan, I guess they both.
Manalokan.
Mike's father coached them too. So.
Nice.
So
Legends.
you own. So now you said you have the men's store. Do you have a women's store and the kids store, or is it just?
So I made a little kids section in the men's store.
Okay.
Because a few years ago, like I wanted also that women weren't just there just to help their husbands shop or boyfriends or fathers or sons or whatever.
Right.
I made added a little kids section. The reactions of some men being like, "You're changing the store. It's only for." I'm like, no. We're doing father-son matching. Yeah, Sink or Swim needs to be the men's store.
Well, we know.
Yeah. So I have a little kids section, and then which is all like really cute, fun, matching, beachy things. And then the women's store we added 3 years ago in 2021. And at the time, because of COVID, I couldn't really get too many new brands. So I did a lot of crossover from the men's shop to the women's shop.
So were you open during COVID?
I was when I could be. I did a lot of Instagram sales, which I feel like a lot of people found us on Instagram because of that. I opened after Memorial Day weekend, but I kind of opened Memorial Day weekend.
It's a great. Well, it's an essential
I'm
business.
essential. We're essential. I mean, I think
people need their Peter Millar.
The golf courses were open.
Yeah, there you go.
Kevin needs his Peter Millar. Yeah, and the clothing seems to be essential to me.
I felt that way totally.
Hope so.
Basically, I don't know. We opened Blue Water Cafe. It was one of the first like summer restaurants to open in COVID. My dad was antsy and was like, there's all these people here. Let's do takeout. It won't be that busy. And I was like, oh no, it's going to be so busy. And we, so that first weekend was rough learning all of that, completely changing the way we did things. So it made me think, how can I change the way that I do things in the store with, I have some leftover product and product was starting to come in. I started doing every day around 11 or noon. I would take photos of clothes and post them and make them into sales. And I was mailing like hundreds of packages.
Wow.
Me and the post office mail lady, we were tight. I like brought her lunch a few times because I was like, thank you for everything you do. And it was really cool because I was mailing things all over the country to people who love LBI, shop at Sink or Swim. And it kept that connection going with people. They were sitting at home.
I have to say this. Sorry. I just have to say this. Of all the people we have on the podcast, and we've had 17 great people, more than 17 at this point, but there's a trend of the younger woman who owns a business here. And you've carried through that, and it's a word called gratitude. Mm-hmm. And all of you are so grateful and appreciative of the island, the businesses, your customers. It's so heartwarming in this world of worlds that we live in to hear you say exactly what Host the Coast, One Boy Blonde, LBI Eats, Hope I Didn't Miss Anybody, all of our new friends that are young people like yourself with just gratitude for the business and for life. And it's, you're part of that group, and God bless you, really.
Aware that we're super lucky to be doing it here.
We're super lucky. Yeah. We're super lucky to have a podcast. We're super lucky to have people like you on it, And so how long have you had the store? You personally?
This is my 8th summer.
It's pretty good for someone who was going to give it a shot.
Yeah, I was like...
Who said absolutely not?
No. It was literally absolutely not. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yeah, it's been pretty good. It's been great. And I've kind of found a niche of what, the way that I want to run a business, what I want to add to our community. And I've really enjoyed it thus far. I've loved like growing the business, and I love when customers bring their friends that are visiting, or like... Sounds insane, but they're friends from the North End who never come.
Well, that was my next question. Do people from the North End?
Spotted.
Our boy over there. Do people come from the North End? I mean,
no, totally. Yeah,
they do. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and they come just to your shop.
It's also like makes it a destination. Like, go have a lobster Cobb salad at Blue Water and shop and do all your South End things. And we are open till 8 p.m. So it gives people that opportunity. If you're making the effort to drive all the way down, you should,
Wow, that's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like that.
Yeah. So do you have any involvement anymore with any of the restaurants, or you're strictly Sink or Swim?
I neurotically run all the Instagrams.
Okay.
I do that. And I am involved, like it is our family business, but the stores pretty much keep me busy.
Yeah, I'm sure.
I haven't, you'll catch me bussing tables every once in a while if I need a little help. Like, I can't help myself. I have no self-control with that. Yeah, I'm pretty much strictly the stores, though. I do all the buying. I'm pretty much there every day. So it's a lot.
Yeah,
what kind of hours do you put in?
I'm pretty much there open to close.
Right.
But sometimes I'm not, and that's great, too. But especially right now, we've got, a smaller squad. But
what are the hours? What are the winter hours?
The winter hours we are open every day till October 9th, obviously fall. And then I'll be open Thanksgiving to December 23rd this year.
And then open up back.
And then I open it really depends, but end of April, usually. I'll pick one of those weekends.
Do you go to the buying shows in New York?
Yeah, I actually have to go in September. That's like all the ordering. That is something that no one really tells you about. It takes like a lot of time. It's very fun. Go to some trade shows and you have appointments every hour, and then you need to build the orders, and it takes like me and a few amazing employees that I have about 7 weeks to get the stores ready.
Wow.
Wow.
And at the height of the summer, how many employees do you have?
My schedule had 24 people on it this summer. I'm very lucky. There was a lot of them who also do other things, and I appreciate, like, I love anyone who's like, I have an internship, but I really want to work so I can work Tuesday, Thursday. And I'm like, great.
We have so many
have you.
people that have multiple jobs here. You
Yeah.
know, working for, Brian at Fantasy Island and Dan, and then they're working, Hallie Bruin and some other place. So.
And I've definitely stolen a few of, my parents' best employees for a day job. And I'm very lucky to have them. And we work with the schedule. And yeah, I would say it's been really nice. This year is probably like one of my best staffs I've ever had, and a lot of returning. And I feel like I trust them so much, and the way that they represent me and the store. I mean, and they're, 21, 19, 22, 23. Like, it's amazing to have built that
Any visa
relationship with
people
them.
from abroad?
No.
No?
I don't have anywhere to house anyone.
Right. No, it's,
Yeah.
It's always the biggest problem we have
that's
here.
a huge problem.
But that's great that you don't have to get involved in that,
Yeah. For sure. And I mean, it's also, we're selling really nice things and providing real customer service for people. So I want them to be, mature and respected, and I try to make it as fun as possible.
We always ask the question, we usually do not get an answer, but does anybody famous come in your store?
We always ask the question, or you always ask the
I always shamelessly ask the question.
I notoriously just treat everyone exactly the same. And my employees are like, oh my God, did you not? And I'm like, no, I knew. But
Right.
I know that anyone famous likes, to feel like they're normal.
We saw someone
absolutely.
famous. We saw someone famous last night, didn't we, Caitlin?
Oh, we did, but
We did.
Please don't say.
We're not going to say where it was.
I know you're
or-
dying
we're
to
not-
say it.
We're not going to say her
He was taking
name.
pictures.
I only took one picture, blew it up, and sent to everybody that I knew.
Other
who
than
would
that,
know
I
her.
tweeted it, but besides
Yeah. It's on my wall somewhere. But
yeah.
so you do have famous people.
Yeah, every once in a while.
Yeah.
And is there any one particular family, one guy that comes in, like not no names, of course, but who comes in and has to buy the first shirt of the summer or a shirt a week or, pants a month or something? Is there,
Of a famous person, or just anyone?
no, just in general.
Oh,
Like,
yeah, absolutely. I love
your regulars,
My
as it
regular.
were.
I love my regulars. I love, we have so many really great people that I love when I can tell, and they're like, Sam, you must meet my daughter's new boyfriend. It's like an initiation of welcome to LBI.
Like a little family.
Yes.
Right.
And I've started to, I know, certain people visit on the second week of August. They're like, we're here for our annual shop. And
That's great.
I think that's great. And maybe I don't always remember their names, but I do remember, did your daughter have fun at camp? And they're like, how did you know? Yeah.
That's what keeps them coming back, I think, to know those
most
little
important
things
thing,
about, yeah.
And that's what I want. A lot of people own homes. They're not just here for a quick bit. They want to be a part of our community because they're going to choose, especially my business that's as opposed to food, they have so many choices. And I want them to choose to shop small because they feel a connection, because there is a reason why they're buying these things when I know I can too, just Google something and find it and
exactly.
get it, they want that connection. So it's important for me that my employees know the level of service that we give makes people feel welcome and that we have something for everyone. I never want anyone to leave feeling like it wasn't really worth buying something there. And they want to come back. They want to see what's new, and they ride their bike. And then all of a sudden, their daughter runs in and she's like, Sam, I rode my bike here all by myself.
Yeah.
I'm like, it's so weird because your parents got married, I thought, last year, but who are you? Yeah. And I'm like, I'm not that old. There's no way. Yeah. So yeah. And I got called Miss Sam, and they, I have a little kids section. They run in, they want to buy all the cars and ask me what's new. And I'm really happy at that community that has been created.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's amazing. Do you see a change in how people shop? Like you said, you can get anything, hit the Google, buy Peter Millar, go on the website. But how about when they come in the store? Are the people shopping longer in making a selection?
Yeah. And especially, more regulars know in the beginning of the season, like we have the sizes, we have things. They're really making like informed choices because they don't want to lose it.
Right.
Because it's not going to be there for long.
Right.
Now that we have the women's store, that's great. Like, it's funny because I have a lot of like husbands who walk over and they're like, Sam, where have you been? And I'm like, oh, I'm at the women's store now. There's two. And your wife is, she gets her time to shop. So it kind of separates everybody and everyone gets their own little time. Yeah.
And you split your time between both stores? I mean, are the men mad that
you can pretty
over
much sometimes, yeah.
I need your help.
Yeah. And then I run over. You can pretty much catch me like running between the two stores, hopefully looking both ways in the street every day. So yeah. And I will say one of my favorite, I'm still like the men's store is my first one and I love it there. It's Father's Day. That is our biggest weekend. I made this terrible dad joke years ago that my employees will not let me forget, that I called the Super Bowl of men's shops. So we'd like talk about Super Bowl weekend. And, but what's so nice is it's generations who've been shopping at Sink or Swim for their Father's Day gift. They wait to come down that weekend. It's hopefully, luckily, peak LBI summer weather. I love that so much that we've continued on that tradition. I have gift boxes, like most stores don't do gift boxes. And it's kind of like an old school touch to the old Sink or Swim that like meant so much to people. So it's nice that the grandson is buying a gift for his dad, that the grandpa got a gift, literally 45 years ago. So
That's great.
I like that. It's fun.
Well, it's an amazing story. You are an amazing person.
Thank you.
Yeah, definitely.
You can come on whenever you want. And talk about whatever you want because of your enthusiasm and your gratitude. You're going to have a problem going on a podcast, Sam? I don't think so. Especially with us. We love to talk. We love to meet new people. And we have a saying at the end of the podcast, and where will we see Sam?
We will see you at the beach.
We will see you at the beach, my friend.
See you there.
We'll see you in the store.
Yeah,
please do. Thanks.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.